And hello, welcome again. I'm back. Good day. Welcome to Trauma Support Group Management. And yesterday I got a little comments, which was cool and motivational. Shout out to Chanel Pentel. I did know her a long time ago when I was doing my thing back then. Shout out Hey Mama Z. She's a good person of relations. She's my mother, my spiritual mother, my second mother. I love her to death. So today we're gonna talk about relations. And relations can be tough, right? So today I would like to share that I have relations. My mom said, I seen your ring on your finger. So I have a Jesus peace ring, as you can see, on my wedding finger because I am committed to the Lord. And when you're in a relationship, it's commitment. So that being said, today it was nice to wake up with my relationship with God. And not only top of that, I got to talk to my brother today, my youngest brother, Barris Harrison. What's happening? What's happening? Um, we have a powerful relationship. We have a powerful relationship. I have relationships with my family. Um, one of my siblings I don't talk to, or we haven't communicated. So I'm working on that. And like I said, relationships can be either really healthy or really toxic or dysfunctional or miscommunication, a lot of miscommunication. So today I'm just going to share with you Mr. Darrell Walker, aka they used to call me BG. Now you hear that name, it's not a good name. But anyway, so I'm going to share my past relationships with my family first of all. So my relationship with my family, um, I was the addict of the family. I was the person that the guy that went to jail, the guy that had bad relationships. It wasn't too much back then. You could say too much good about me because I was always into something. A messed up relationship, or I was in jail, or I was on drugs, or I was making money, or just I was on the street. So with my family, over time, as me growing up, they say, "Hey, how your brother doing?" And they'll be like, "Oh, well, he's like my sister would say, he's the real." And when she said that, that's saying, my brother's still out. She never called me any types of names or nothing. She said, "Hey, my brother doing what he doing. He out there doing his thing, but he still living." And during them times of me being a mess up, I have, sorry, excuse me, let me correct that. I have a good relationship with my little sister, Deshauna. They call her AKA Day, Miss Day. And during that time of me being, you know, the brother on drugs and stuff, I still came around. If she called, I was there. If I called her, she was there. So there's a relationship there. There's a bond. Me and my sister, we came up together with also my youngest brother. He was a newborn baby at the time. The Bears. He was a newborn baby, and it was the three of us. But at the end, in the beginning, it was me and my sister. So me and my sister was not brother and sister. Me and my sister was she was my brother, other than my sister. So everything I like to do as a boy, we ride. So you name it. Any kind of tomboy activity, we love wrestling because WWF was the thing back then. So um, my sister is my other, my closest bond. Other than my other brother, now me and him have a closest bond. Just working on one more. And during that, like I said, during that process, I have been around. Well, all three of my nieces are born, which is Nicole, Trelawney, and Karaya. So I was around with them, and my relationships with my nieces is great. Like I love my nieces. We talk. They can tell Uncle Red everything. I don't go run my mouth. I don't share their business. And that's a good relationship. Now, before I get into the good relationship, I'm the type of person I like to bring the bad before the good, because I don't want to paint a pretty picture that I was just so wonderful guy and I'm here on the computer and you need to change your life and I never made mistakes. That's not what we do. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it 100 on this site, because when you're in trauma, everything's 100. The anxiety's at 100, the worries at 100, your fears at 100, your panic attacks at 100. Everything is 100. So I'm gonna keep it 100. So like I was saying with my family, it was rough for them to see their oldest brother, out on the street on drugs, but they understood, they support me. I just talked to my youngest brother, the Bears, this morning, and asked him a couple questions and how he felt about some things, and he just told me straight up, "Hey, our relationship, and to be honest with you as a man, I just don't like what you used to do. I like who you are now." So that's a relationship. And if you're in a relationship where you're not talking to your family, where you're just being, "Oh, nobody wants to bother me, or nobody don't like me," stop that. Just really stop that, because your people love you. I don't know who this for. Just ride with me. Don't get lost. But your people love you. Do they like what you do? No. But they're never going to stop you from loving you. You got to understand about family. I don't care if you're in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s. She did something to you when y'all was 5. Let it go. At the end of the day, that's still your family. That's your relationship. If you not in a relationship, a committed relationship, if you don't have friends, you have your family. So, that being said, I'm single. I want to spend time with a woman. I call my nieces. Quick. Hey, y'all come over here. Let's have fun. Being healthy, and just keeping in contact. Excuse me, y'all. And just keeping in contact with myself and my family. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my history of how I damaged my relationship with my family. We're gonna get to the good part, but sometimes we have to look at what faults are we doing, what things are we saying, what actions are we showing that we don't have family relations or relations, period. Some people say, "Oh, I like to be by myself." You see, I took a deep breath. I'm by myself, but I'm also by myself, dealing with myself, discovering myself, discovering my relationship with God, discovering my abilities of the things that I could do, and also share my experiences with my family. I don't have too many friends at this time, but you have to really send a point and quit pointing the finger why things are the way things are in your relations. So that being said, I'm slowing down because, like I said, it's my first time, second time today. I'm really encouraged to do this, but with family, before I move forward with family, if you have family issues, if you have family problems, they can be hard to address because you don't want to feel vulnerable. You don't want to feel overlooked. You don't even want to get into no confrontation. You don't want a misunderstanding. You don't want nothing that's going to hurt you. So now you're on the protective end. Well, I just don't want to deal with them. Or I just don't like certain things they do. I don't like the way they are. Well, maybe that's because you don't like the way you are. And what you're doing, you're projecting on to somebody else of what you really are. So, when I was in addiction, I didn't mind coming around my family. Now, they never see me do anything, but, if I get a call, hey, my sister called me, "Hey, bro, your niece is asking for you, and all this type of stuff. Can you come by?" I'm like, "Okay, give me a couple hours, let me sober up, and I'll come by." But I always showed up. I always came. I never left them hanging. I never left them wondering, where's my uncle? Where my brother at? What are he doing? She called, I come. So if your family is calling for you and you're in addiction, if your family is calling for you and you feel lonely, reach back out. Sometimes they got this saying, well, family is the one that can hurt you the most. But really, family can be the one that help you the most. And what I mean by help you, you can deal with a family member and don't want to be bothered or you don't agree with what they do. So what you need to do, get yourself together and move forward and still show love to that family person, right? Right. So with that being said, we're going to go on to, or I'm going to share with you my past relationship with women with drugs. Now, this is deep. I don't mind opening it up because I'm healed. I discovered my self-esteem. When you're watching these programs or if you're listening to me now, it's not to say, oh, look at how bad he is. No, it's to help. If you don't want to see who you are, because what I'm saying, you can relate to it. I know a lot of y'all probably right now in a relationship and y'all get high. Y'all get drank, y'all smoke weed together. Probably, I'm not going to name no extra stuff because I don't want to trigger nobody. But you know where I'm coming from. So in some of my past relationships, there was drugs involved. And drugs can make you feel like a false sense of security. And if you heard yesterday, I'm not going to emphasize on this, but it's a lot of time when you get somebody 14 years. So in them 14 years, we were together. I was doing my thing. And then she jumped on the bandwagon. But we stayed together. We seemed happy, you know, things was all right. She was working. I was cutting the food. I was going to jail. She was bonding me out. You know, we just had that connection because we were getting high. So that's a toxic relationship. If you're in a relationship with addiction, and if you love each other and you want to stay with each other, then it's best that, you know, together y'all go find help. Or if you're in a relationship and you're tired of getting high, or you're tired, that's just not even getting high. Much of the reason I talk about getting high because that's most of my life. But if you're tired of being in miscommunication, confusion, downput, not trusted, abused, verbally abused, financially abused, emotionally abused, it's time for you to get out of that relationship. It's time for you to really move on, especially if you want to better yourself. A lot of people say, yeah, I want to better myself, but, you know, I can't leave her. It's more to life than that. It's more to life than what you're doing right now. It's more to life than the girl you're with or the man you're with. It's more to life than your family. I'm not trying to cause division or anything. I just want us to discover that in our relationships, the relationships we deal with are not the center. They're not the center of our world. You know, I done seen guys lose it because their girlfriend broke up with it. Oh, even let me just talk about me. I went into a 6-month depression. This is recently. I went into a 6-month depression, and my ex-relations, true story, they left me on my birthday. It was 34 degrees. I never forget it. And what happened to the situation, I had established in addiction, established to get help, rent paid for a whole year. And all the mother needed to do was just go down and sign another piece of paper, but due to, you know, certain illnesses or whatever the case may be, she didn't go down and sign that paper. So what ended up happening? We got evicted. So we got evicted with the mother-in-law, 2 kids, and us as addicts. And by then I was, you know, coming in with my income, and she was robbing Peter, pay Paul, making loads or whatever. But it got to the point where my money was dry. Nobody had nothing to lend. We got these 2 kids and our addiction. So I did the best I could. You know, hey, Auntie Sharessa, cousin Sharessa, I asked her, hey, can we, you know, as an addict, you don't have nothing, but, you know, us addicts, we come up with something quick. And I went to my family member's house, asked them, can we stay there? And she let us stay. That's the best I could do as an addict. And still we was in addiction. So you got to think about it. I'm with a person that's, not being a mother really, putting the pressure on me. Remember I talked about in my first video, that caretaker. And I took on the responsibility the best way I could. But it got to a point where there was no other way to go. So she had to reach out and call her friends, or I did give her, say, hey, look, you can go to a shelter or something, because I, as an addict, or I as an individual person, don't have the resources anymore. And I pretty much didn't have the energy, because you got to think about it. I'm stressed out. I'm getting high. I'm sexually deprived. I'm dealing with the kids. I love kids. I don't hit kids. All my stepchildren that's out there that's watching me, that know me, from way back in the days, they know I love them. They know I'm a great person. I'm a great lover. I don't get frustrated. I try not to be frustrated. I give you advice. Y'all know that. And when I say stepkids, from my ex-past relationships, not, that I'm not dealing with them now. So you got to think about it. That's a lot of energy from one person that doesn't have kids, that can handle his own addiction, that doesn't have to worry about bills and third-party people. And all this is just relations, and so back to January 6th, my birthday. What year it was? It's 2025. I would say it was 2023. And I never forget. She said, hey, some friends of mine called, I had got sick from one of the kids. I probably had COVID probably at the time. And she said, okay, they said you could come over and, you could relax, but I was sick. So I said, you know what? Y'all just go ahead. I'm not feeling too good. Call me tomorrow. What happened, y'all? I ended up going to sleep in a 34-degree weather van. I had a van that time. Y'all remember my gray van with the heavy tinted windows in the window. Y'all know me. And I was sick. But that was one of my days I had to have a relationship with myself. I said, dang, Darrell, out of all you done did, all you could do, here you is, you sick, and there's nobody to take care of you. Nobody. If you need something to eat, nobody who gonna feed you. Relationship. And some people, if you experience and hearing what I'm saying, you don't put all your all into a relationship, every granny, every resource, and everything, and end up at the bottom. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. I'm even share sometimes even on the streets, or we call it the block back in the nowadays. I don't know what they call it now, but we call it the block. When I was on the block, I didn't mind. You was down, I shoot you something. I remember some people, if the world come around, they see me again, they say, I remember that guy. He used to jump out of his car and ask me, did I want something to eat? Or he asked me, did I need a couple of dollars? It's been times in my addiction, I got out the car and said, hey, man, you ain't got no shoes on your feet. Here, take my shoes. You see what I'm saying? Relations. So, in top of that, I don't know how it sounds, but I know we have some functioning addicts out there, that people that can do their thing and function, but that is a deception. You're going to crash out one day. You're going to burn out. So, I want to break it down to, like the story is going, I was by myself. Now, this is the part where you might have to bite your feet, like, because when you're dealing with yourself, it's tough. Nobody likes to look at their faults. Nobody don't like to look what they done did. Nobody likes to look at where they come from. Nobody likes to address their self. I like to address myself. I like to learn. I like to grow. My mom told me yesterday, just to give a little credit. She said, I'm son, and I asked for credit from you guys, input. She said, son, well, you can't say the man upstairs because he's not a man. And she was talking about God. And I said, okay, Mom. Now, some people that's prideful, they would have said, you know what, man, this is my video. This is what I can do, what I want to do. And you can't tell me what to do. I know what I'm saying. You're crashing. You're setting yourself up for failure, because when you're getting constructive criticism, it gives you humility. And I'm going to keep talking about humility, because right now I'm under humility, just sharing my life, seeing here. There's no more fear. Hey, let's clap for that. No more fear. This is faith. This is me pointing at you, saying that, and I'm pointing at myself in the camera as well. So I'm talking to myself too. That's good. But I'm encouraging you to keep pushing forward and address your issues, address your problems, address your mistakes, change your ways, and slow time. Don't rush it. Take your time. Start with one thing first. One thing first is saying, and I, part of recovery or whatever. I'm not too deep in the 12 book thing. I need to work on that maybe, but I know in life, is just being a man or a person or a woman, period, you have to say, you know what? I have a problem. Now, if you would take your time, and if you're serious, just not just speak no word curse over you, because it's like, oh, he's making us say stuff that's gonna, no. Just say, I have a problem I need to fix. Say it again. I have a problem I need to fix. Now, what happens is after that, the doors are open. The doors are open to healing. The doors are open up to revelation. The doors are open up to overcoming.